A huge area of our planet is covered with uninhabited deserts. Anyone can walk through them, and at the same time they are the same unexplored areas as, for example, the oceans or Antarctica. And believe me, these natural zones can tell a lot about both the events of the past and the events of the present. Sometimes what is hidden under the thickness of sand amazes even the most experienced scientists. And what is hidden under them can shock the psyche of an unprepared researcher, because these finds have been lying under the sand for thousands of years. Once, scientists decided to figure out how deserts appeared, and they came to an interesting conclusion. Such huge deserts as the Sahara, Gobi, Atacama, Arabian, and Kalahari could not have arisen on their own, without outside intervention. They studied only these deserts, specifically. Now the main question, who, how, and why made these lands lifeless? There is no exact answer, but there is an interesting hypothesis. It is supported by scientists themselves who believe that deserts were not created by nature. This hypothesis states that ancient civilizations could have used powerful technologies to specifically change the climate and turn these territories into deserts. Historians do not like the term Russian North, but it is here, as they say, that our civilization was born 130,000 years ago. The northern latitudes of Russia are a blooming paradise, where the states of the Rus flourished. The glacier forced them to migrate, and they founded states throughout Eurasia and even in North Africa and India. These events took place tens of thousands of years ago, and then Asgard of Iria and other similar city-states arose. Their levels of development was simply incredible, thanks to some techno-magic. This is said in ancient Indian epics, but modern science prefers to consider them fairy tales so as not to destroy its version of history. The same ancient epics indicate the reason for the appearance of deserts: wars between civilizations. Either earthly civilizations fought with each other or faced a threat from space, using destructive techno-magic weapons. One of them is drying, a beam of solar energy directed from above, burning everything in its path, turning people, forests, and water into sand. This is not fantasy, but descriptions from Indian epics, telling about a world where physics and chemistry worked differently and techno-magic existed. Drying is probably a weapon that used the element of fire, possibly solar energy, creating catastrophically high temperatures and, as a result, turning huge territories into sand. The Great Flood was the final blow to techno-magical civilizations. A huge wave that circled the Earth 3 times washed away their world, possibly caused by a desperate attempt by one of the civilizations to save itself. This catastrophe destroyed the era when people controlled the elements. About 14 to 18,000 years ago, a new development of civilization began, but without techno-magic. We became primitive humanity, and the deserts around the world are a reminder of that tragedy, hiding traces of ancient civilizations under the sand. To this day, there is no clear answer to the question of how long ago the deserts were created, but there are several theories explaining this phenomenon, that they were created relatively recently. According to one of them, the formation of deserts on the African continent occurred not as long ago as we think. Some experts believe that deserts appeared in place of forests only a few hundred years ago. It is believed that between 1500 and 1800, less rain fell on Africa, which led to the gradual drying out of forests and the emergence of deserts. There is also a version that human activity could have contributed to this process. Deforestation for timber and agriculture could have accelerated the drying out of the soil and led to the formation of deserts. For example, in the American state of Maine, the desert appeared relatively recently, a couple of hundred years ago, due to human intervention. Constant crops depleted the land, and sheep nibbled the grass, tearing it out along with the roots and the top layer of soil. The question of how deserts actually appeared is still shrouded in mystery. It is generally accepted that it is all about the uneven distribution of heat and moisture. A desert is essentially a place where there is no rain. But why and where does this sand come from? These are the remains of rocks, turned to dust over thousands of years, crushed to the smallest grains of sand under the scorching sun and icy nights. But even behind this seemingly simple logic, there is something more. A mystery that attracts and beckons researchers. As we have already understood, deserts are not just sand and heat, but unique ecosystems where amazing phenomena occur. The Sahara Desert is the largest desert in the world, covering an area of about 9 million square kilometers, which is comparable to the United States or China. It spans 11 countries in northern Africa and is home to many unique species of animals and plants. Deserts are not just sand dunes. About 20% of all deserts are covered in sand. Some, like the Gobi Desert in Central Asia, have a lot of rock and gravel. There are also ice deserts like Antarctica, which is the largest desert by area. When we hear the word desert, we immediately picture sand and not a single living soul. The good news is that many of them are teeming with life, including plants, birds, insects, and mammals that have adapted to the harsh conditions. For example, the Sonoran Desert in North America is home to over 2,000 species of plants. In addition to their natural inhabitants, deserts also provide a home and shelter for many human cultures. Among them are the Bedouins of the Sahara, the Aborigines of the Australian desert, and the Navajo of the Sonoran Desert. In some deserts, such as the Mojave Desert, you can find unique geological formations such as rock arches and limestone caves. The Antarctic Desert. Yes, you heard right. It is a true ice desert, the coldest, windiest, and driest place on Earth. It receives less than 50 millimeters of precipitation per year, mostly in the form of snow. I have already made many videos about Antarctica, but I will not go into detail here. It is all on my channel. But what if I told you that some deserts, such as the Sahara Desert, continue to expand due to a process known as desertification? This is caused by a combination of natural and man-made factors, including climate change and poor land management. Some desert plants can live for over 1,000 years, such as the Wawitskia of the Namib Desert, and sand in the Sahara Desert is sometimes carried across the Atlantic by the wind and helps feed the Amazon rainforest, enriching the soil with important minerals. The Danakil Desert in Ethiopia is one of the most alien-like places on Earth, with lava lakes, salt flats, and geothermal vents. Large quantities of minerals and natural gas are found in desert areas, especially in the Sahara Desert and the Persian Gulf Desert. The Atacama Desert in Chile has some of the best stargazing in the world, thanks to its extremely low light pollution and high altitude. And desert oases are not just mirages, they actually exist. They are formed due to the presence of water close to the surface of the Earth, allowing plants and trees to thrive. The Sahara is a vast expanse of sandy dunes, a place of harsh beauty and the merciless power of nature. But behind the sands lies a world of mystery. Lost civilizations, ancient artifacts, mysterious ruins. All of this has been buried in the sands for millennia, and our generation is trying to unravel their secrets. Modern research shows that the Sahara is younger than it seems. Just 5,000 years ago, there were tropical forests here. The climate has changed 9 times over the past 200,000 years, turning the blooming savanna into a desert and back every 22,000 years. And in 15,000 years, it may become an oasis again. Remains of giant dinosaurs, almost 100 million years old, were found in the sands of the Sahara. And also, a multicolored eye of the Sahara was discovered from space, a multi-tiered formation with rings 50 kilometers in diameter, about 500 million years old, located on the cardinal points. The discovery is attributed to NASA astronauts in 1965 who were looking for traces of meteorite falls. Another mystery is the Libyan desert with scattered pieces of greenish glass, tektites. They were first found in 1816 and some of them are almost 100,000 years old. Scientists are still debating how this purest natural glass was formed, but the Sahara is just the beginning. There are other desert ecosystems that are no less interesting for research. Here are some of them. Painted Desert, Arizona, USA. The state of Arizona is famous for its wonderful landscapes. Here, the Painted Desert stretches between the Grand Canyon and the Petrified Forest National Park. It owes its name to the layered stone slabs of different geological periods that make up the local mountains. They come in different shades, from gray and yellow to red, burgundy and purple. Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil. Lençóis Maranhenses is one of the strangest deserts in the world. If we strictly adhered to the definition of a desert, it would definitely not meet all the requirements. This is due to the fact that the amount of precipitation in these areas exceeds the norm. The Brazilian desert is located in the northeastern part of the country in the state of Maranhão. It consists of shifting dunes of light sand. When viewed from above, they form rows of waves all in the same direction. However, the strangest thing is the turquoise lakes, also called lagoons, that form between them in the valleys of dried trees. Taklamakan, China. In western China, in the Kashgar Basin, between the Tian Shan, Karakoram, and Kunlun ranges, which reach heights of over 7,000 meters above sea level, lies the Taklamakan Sand Desert. It is the second largest sand desert in the world. Due to its location, temperature differences in winter reach minus 20-30 degrees Celsius. It is also one of the few deserts in the world where there is a stable snow cover. This phenomenon first occurred in 2008, and the latest photos are from 2013. White Sands Desert, New Mexico, USA. The White Sands Desert in New Mexico makes a surprising impression on visitors. Its territory is covered with white sand made of limestone and gypsum rocks. Situated at an altitude of over 1,000 meters, the desert is a frequent place for excursions. Its surface is cool because the limestone absorbs moisture, and at the same time reflects the sun's rays, not letting through too much heat. So walking on this white sand is a bit of a strange feeling, but it remains in your memory for a long time. Black Desert, Egypt. In western Egypt, the Black Desert adjoins the White Desert. Its name, of course, comes from the color of the rocks that make up it. Dark volcanic rocks, conical hills, blackening the harsh landscape, create the impression of a descent into hell. What a contrast to the brightness of the nearby chalk cliffs. The desert is uninhabited, but the road from Farafra to Bahariya runs through it. The best way to admire it is from English Mountain, which is the highest point in the area. White Desert, Egypt. The White Desert is one of the most unusual deserts in northern Africa. It is located in western Egypt in the Farafara region. It is part of a huge, sparsely populated area. It gets its name from the chalk-eroded rocks found here. The result is fantastic shapes resembling mushrooms, columns, animals, or figures protruding from the sand. The White Desert is one of the places that has not yet reached the peak of tourist visits, but every year the number of tourists coming here is steadily increasing. The beauty and grandeur of deserts is amazing, but as we know, most deserts are uninhabited. In which deserts is it simply impossible for humans to survive? Let's figure it out. Chihuahuan Desert. The Chihuahuan Desert is the largest desert in North America, covering approximately 500,000 square kilometers. Due to the weather conditions, this desert is deadly. It is hot in the summer and cold in the winter. New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas are states located in the desert, and part of the desert is in Mexico. Due to the size and barrenness of the desert, it is difficult to move around. Prickly plants such as the prickly hand cactus and thistles fill the landscape, so you need to be careful in the desert to avoid getting pricked. The Chihuahuan Desert is home to rattlesnakes, scorpions, and centipedes, which are poisonous to humans. An encounter with one of these animals or other dangers in this desert can be fatal, especially considering that the desert's size can make it difficult to get help if needed. Gobi Desert. The Gobi Desert is about 1,300,000 square kilometers, 500,000 square miles, in area, making it the sixth largest desert in the world. This deadly desert is located in South Asia, near Mongolia and northern China. About 5% of the region is covered in sand, and the desert is riddled with mountains, rocky cliffs, and canyons. The desert is prone to sandstorms and extreme weather events such as droughts and harsh winters. Considered a cold desert, the Gobi has seen temperatures as low as 40 degrees. The region is not as barren as other deserts and is home to dangerous animals such as vipers, pit vipers, and wild dogs. Mojave Desert. The Mojave Desert has long been considered the hottest place on Earth, with regions of the desert such as Death Valley reaching record temperatures peaking at 134°56.6 degrees. Although the Mojave Desert is the smallest of North America's major deserts, it is also one of the driest and hottest. Located primarily in the United States, the Mojave Desert is found in the states of Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and California, and covers an area of 47,877 square miles. The wildlife of the Mojave is as dangerous as its climate. It is home to mountain lions, goshawks, spiders, and assassin bugs. The desert is also home to the Gila monster, one of the few venomous lizards on the planet. Deserts of Australia. Australia is one of the driest continents in the world and is home to many deadly animals that have adapted to life in the desert despite the extreme climate. Around 2,500 square kilometers of Australia is covered by deserts, and the land receives very little rainfall. Some of the deadliest animals in the world are found in Australia, which is what the continent is famous for. There are an estimated 66 venomous snakes in Australia. There are also dangerous spiders in the region, such as the redback and the Australian funnel web spider. Dry climate and high temperatures are common in Australia, just like any other desert. It is a beautiful place to visit, but if you are planning a trip to the deadly deserts of Australia, you should be prepared.